What do I do? It's not really a confusing question. I have two companies. Number one, I'm still in the sales world. I am a consultant for Custone for Ori over in Pisa, Italy. So I specialize in working with luxury developments and commercial high-end buildings with architectural Custone. Anyway, and I also a few years ago started a sales training company. That was based on my history in this business. Just to give you some quick background, I have been an on-the-boots ground salesperson for a multitude of companies, business development, sales and marketing. Costantino for 6 years, all the way up to everything from talking small-term cabinet companies to high-end commercial jobs. Then I went to work as a marketing consultant for Antolini, Italy, all the way to Mexico, wherever they sent me. So that's what I did. And then I became a wholesaler with a lot of the knowledge that I built. And I moved anywhere from $5 to $14 million of stone a year buying and selling containers. So I happen to be a little bit of a stone nerd and a considerable marketing guru. In 2023, I decided to write a book about sales called The Art of Selling. This is my second book that I put out last year. And it was so funny that I was listening to Jeffrey this morning because everything in that first half of the presentation is summarized in the second book that I put out in November. So I'm not here to push books. Trust me when I tell you that 5 or 10 book sales does not make me a millionaire. Our profit on book sales is about $4 to $15, depending on the publishing costs and the back end of that business. So it's not about that, but it is about a package of information that you could take away. So today they asked me to come in and talk about marketing on the front forward of sales, but then Chris really wanted me to touch on how I use AI on a regular basis. So I have two companies. I run two very small, if you want to be businesses, but I have to do a lot of work really, really quickly because I'm on the road quite a bit. Some people call me Superwoman in the amount of data that I have to get out. I've written everything on my own website. Sales and marketing is just what I do, and I have to learn and get adapted to be able to do that productivity very, very quickly because I am not in the office all the time. I'm traveling 1 to 2 weeks a month. I might be speaking at a conference or going here and there. So today's presentation is really, really geared towards how AI can help you speed up some of your processes and build some efficiency involved. So this is a video that I created using AI. I'll just show that real quick. It's 38 seconds. But when I was launching the book, and every image that you see in the background of this particular video is all created using AI tools. And that's just one of the multitudes of social media videos that I put out targeting my audience. Jeffrey really hit on target marketing, the subject and the core of this book. That is literally what it is. Because to me, if you're a small business, taking a little bit of time to understand the unique value propositions that he mentioned already, like he couldn't have given me a better intro, right? Because the targeting, figuring out who your customer is the biggest part about how well you're going to be selling and who you're marketing to overall. And trust me when I say we just don't want to skimp on some of those operations. Okay, so I did this. I'll also tell you that this entire presentation was written by AI for me, which is really super cool, using a program called Gamma. So today I want to talk to you about building a strategy, targeting marketing, and some sales efficiency techniques. Jeffrey already covered this. Marketing is so much more than just social media. Today, I think everybody's a lot more familiar with all the visual aspects of what marketing is. But in actuality, it's the whole package. It's your brand, it's your logo, and brand and logo are not the same thing. It's the packaging, it's the presentation, it's the PR, it's the advertising, it's the business development. Marketing is this huge subject, but people often only relate it with like 1 or 2 pieces. So I wanted to give it just a little bit of some timeline of history here. Let's see if this wants to work for me today. Okay. And don't necessarily need this information, don't really care about the history of marketing, but marketing dates back to the guys on the streets who had like a new concoction that they were trying to sell, and they would have paper signs, and this thing is 50 cents, and they'd be going door to door trying to sell some kind of a product, etc. Little baby steps of marketing have come a really, really long way. But in 2010, which I was not using AI in 2010, that's when people really started to get into how could computers make this whole process faster. And today, I mean, it truly is like the revolutionary. So just understanding a little bit can go a whole lot farther in your business. I'm not here to tell you how to incorporate fabrication tools or some of the tools that are available for fabricators using AI. This is strictly about a marketing presentation. I did want to take a picture of this Dynamic Stone Tools, which is actually a company up in my market, home market in Washington, D.C. They had a great little article that you can find online that actually has like some of the AI tools that incorporate into fabrication software. And that is, again, not what I'm talking about today. I wanted to talk to you about like brand voice, UVP, and creating a strategy. How many know what like a UVP is? Good. Okay, great. We're starting from down here. UVP is that unique value proposition. So Jeffrey hit on it when he said, what is it about your shop that makes you different? What is your expertise? What is your specialty? Like knowing and being able to grasp and say, like, I do limestone really, really well. Or I am a mitering king. You know, we specialize, we can do turn down miters faster, better, no chips, whatever it is. If it's, we cater to a retiring clientele, that may be part of your UVP. But you know, in my book, I outlined there's a whole lot of components, and they're generally one sentence at a time statements. A unique value proposition could be 5 of those, it could be 10 of those, it could only be 3 of those. But those are statements that literally say, what is it about your business that makes you special, differentiates you in the marketplace, and then that is going to start to encompass around your brand. What is your brand voice? What are you trying to say? So we were talking with Jeffrey this morning, you know, I think I brought up in the presentation how much, it doesn't, you know, you can put out 1 million videos on TikTok. Who are we talking to? Who are we actually carrying that message to? Because if you're simply talking about, you know, some shop equipment or showing how cool some stuff is in the back of your shop, you might actually be communicating to other fabricators. You're not necessarily communicating to your consumer, right? You have to build an appearance that is going to give perspective to that particular homeowner. And then creating a strategy behind this. You know, everybody in this room, I think, is on a relatively small business basis, right? Am I? Yeah. So this is not something that you may have a lot of time for, but I'm here to tell you that ChatGPT and some of the tools that are out there can help you work on this and quickly and get you going with a brand strategy. But having a strategy that is sort of the encompassing factors of what is your brand, what is your UVP, what are we trying to say, who are we trying to attract, all of those things in combination help you make a formula, a strategy package. It's going to start to help you see the clearer picture on where you're spending your money in advertising dollars. How are you investing money into somebody who can do social media work for you? Are you going to invest in a chat bot that can answer your website? Every single person in this room, you're all different. No, there's no one-size-fits-all solution for any business model. And that's probably part of the trickiest part of it all, is just figuring out what works and what's right for your business. And so there's no right or wrong answer either. I'm going to show you really quickly. What I did for today is I actually used Chris's shop. And I did what I do best when I need to come up with concepts and ideas quickly. I used ChatGPT to run a marketing strategy for affordable, I wish Chris was in here, affordable quality and granite. So I did speed this up. If everybody can see the screen, I hope you can. But this is how I talk to chat on a regular basis. How many of you have used ChatGPT? Just starting to, okay? So the trickiest part about working with chat is telling it what to do and getting that right. So I'm here to tell you that, you know, look at how much text I'm putting in this initial prompt. It's a lot. You can't just go to ChatGPT and say, write a brand strategy for me. You have to feed it some data and some information. I'm going to teach you a little bit later how to find some of that information as well. But the first thing I did, let me back this up for just a second, is
what can I help you with?
Oh no, I did this for your shop, so it's funny. I just want to back it up. So right at the front. So I wrote in here, I'm doing a presentation on stone fabricator shop. This is how they can incorporate AI. This chat is an example of how ChatGPT can help design a brand strategy for a business. So let's show the audience how chat can quickly build a brand strategy for a fabrication shop in Aiken, South Carolina. Details, details, details. Let's use affordable quality marble and granite. And then I entered the website. So one of the key factors when using an AI is it has to pull data from somewhere, from some location. So the more little tips and tricks that you can give it, like websites or actual names and numbers, the easier, because it's going to do all the sifting through the data for you. It's going to use Google, it's going to use all the information that's back on the internet, and it's super cool because it can totally power it. So, write a marketing brand strategy to include brand, voice, target marketing, and UVP. The three things that I have for you on the rest of the slide. Now, did everybody see how quickly it spread that out? Now, am I here to tell you that everything on that very first prompt is going to be accurate? No. It doesn't mean that it's right all the time. But what does that do for you? Somebody tell me.
Give you a starting point.
Get you a starting point. That's the magic. The magic is not one size fits all. It's going to create all of your answers for you, write blogs for you that are perfect, that's something that you can put out immediately. But it gives you a fucking place to start. Which right, on a small business, that's half the battle. That's half the battle. So, that was just one.
You have chat on my computer?
I do, but we'll do some tests here in a minute, because I got more to show. Sorry guys, not my computer. Well, it opened it up in a browser, and it, I'm so sorry. I don't like having things. And then the internet's not super helping. And I can't go back. Okay, I think I figured out what's wrong here. All right. Okay, so we'll go over a little bit about what it said. So then after the first prompt, I said, because I happen to know marketing a little bit, I said, now I really want you to tell me, talk to me about the 3 pillars. What are the 3 pillars of marketing? Okay, one of the first pillars of marketing is going to be the inspirational. We call this pillar 1 in marketing lingo. So pillar 1 is when you are trying to express to an audience and make them want to work with you. You want to show to the world why you're special, and that it would feel really good if they worked with your company. Inspirational marketing doesn't have to be actual like jobs installed. It could be you running a 10K. It could be you climbing a mountaintop. It could be sailing on a pontoon boat. I'm just thinking about a retired customer. You know, you hanging out on a pontoon boat on a Sunday afternoon. This is aspirational, inspirational marketing that says like, hey, that person, place, or thing is a really cool company that I want to do business with. So in this case, for this shop, chat tells me that in order to create some inspirational content, they need stunning imagery of completed projects, storytelling and lifestyle marketing, social media showcases that engages their audience, and some blog and educational content. Right there for pillar 1 content, that actually gives you as a business a formula of things to look for, stock up on, and create that are going to be able to go in your pillar 1 content. And I know I get a little marketing lingo, so please, if you don't understand, if I'm going pillar 1 and all this other stuff, just stop me. But I want to make sure we get through all this today. Pillar 2 is one of the most important pillars that you can have in a marketing strategy. These are the click-to calls to action, what's going to actually make your phone ring, what is going to be the pull and the reason that somebody's going to stop what they're doing and contact you today for sales and service, the call to action style of marketing. Whether it's a promotion, that testimonial, it's something that digs into the inner heart circle of a person's want or need to be able to contact your business and say, like, I need new countertops today. Like, I want to call them today. I can't wait any longer. They are hitting me in the gut, right? So and then call to action strategies also happen to be like areas on your website that are contact us now, places for people to actually enter their information and give you their contact information as a lead. So when you're building a website, every single page that you have on a website ought to have some sort of call to action prompt or location on every single page, because you don't know when the customer's sitting at home at 10 o'clock at night and they're checking out your products and your services, what page are they, what's going to be most interesting to you? Now, if you're running analytics, your website, back into your website can tell you a lot of that information, but there should be calls to action in almost every single piece of marketing that you have. But it doesn't take up the whole encompass of your marketing, right? So pillar 1, aspirational, inspirational. These are just information about who you are as a company. Do you volunteer at pet shelters? Give the people a reason to like you, not just want to come and shop for countertops with you, but they actually want to like you, right? Pillar 2 is going to be that very important, pick up the phone now, I want your business, somewhat on the more salesy side of marketing. And by the way, Chris, how's it looking so far?
I like it.
With feeling like it fits your shop? There's going to be more. There's going to be more. Same thing here, proof. So pillar 3 is proof, the actualization that you do what you say you're going to do. Now this is where you actually incorporate images of your installs, happy customers, the testimonials. And you have to decide as a business what weight is going to service your area and your market and your consumer base the best. Because you could take these 3 pillars and split them into percentages. Do I need 20% of my marketing to be aspirational? I need 60% to be calls to action, and then I need 30% on the back end that is proof that I do what I say to do. I wouldn't put that heavy on call to action. Me personally, my brand strategy is based on referral. I want people to talk about what I do. I want to get somebody to know me by name. I don't want a bunch of click to call. I don't want to be a used car salesman when I think about my sales training business. I want somebody to call and ring my phone because they've already heard how amazing I am, and there's really not much sales that has to go on from there. There's some discussion of price. So that's me personally. So you get to figure out as a weight, as a perspective on how heavy you want to be in any one of these pillars. Now, the next aspect of this is proper target marketing. And here's where, in my consultancy business, working with several different fabricators, 9 times out of 10, the advertising and the labor-intensive work is being put into the wrong category of customer. Now hear me when I say this. So one of my clients up in Massachusetts, it's a mom and pop shop. Pop's in the back cutting stone. She's in the front greeting the customers, helping answer the phone. She also has to do all the marketing, everything. So woman in the front, man in the back. Now, that being said, they were catering any and all of their marketing. They were doing mailers, radio ads, a couple of events here and there, but most of it was about trying to get the homeowner into their shop. And then the homeowner gets into the shop and spends 2 hours, can't make a decision, doesn't close the sale right then and there on the job, and this very low employee-based company has just spent half of the day catering to a customer that can't seal the deal. That being said, on the back end of the business, husband has had some relationships with some builders around town, and he can get jobs simply by picking up the phone and calling and finding a few spot jobs here and there around town, or through his relationships that he's developing. So when they did a business analysis of where's all the money coming from, in this mom and pop case, it was actually coming from builders, and they needed to be advertising to more kitchen and baths. Why did they need to be advertising towards more kitchen and baths? Because the kitchen and bath designers are doing all the legwork of the selections and the countertops, and they're designing the kitchen for them, and that leaves mom and pop shop to be able to actually just cut and install stone, which is where their business is today. That's just where they are today. It's not necessarily where they're going to be in the future, but it's where they are now to be able to have sustainable business. So instead of spinning the wheels, advertising to all of these homeowners and trying to get Mrs. Jones to come in and select material, they really needed to invest in a salesperson that could start networking the business into more kitchen and bath and cabinet shops around the local market, and spending more time doing networking with businesses that could actually bring them business, not actually trying to cater to the customer themselves. So why do I tell you that story? Because number one, it's a true fucking story. And when we changed dramatically, when she saw immediate results, because she stopped spinning her wheels with wasting time with clients. The next thing she did is she still has to see the homeowners, but she limited the time that she spent with those homeowners to 30 minutes. And she made sure that everything was very, very clear that she could only spend 30 minutes in the showroom for these appointments. And if they couldn't finish that job within that 30 minutes, they'd have to reschedule. Is it a risk because she might lose the sale? Well, is that actually bringing her money in the first place? To spend more time than that with the particular customer? These are tough decisions that we have to make. I think the time is better spent networking with people who will actually send you business than the direct sale business. So, in the terms of affordable quality in marble and granite, this is what ChatGPT told me your main customer base is, Chris. Is that all? Is that everybody? Pretty amazing. I didn't have to do a whole lot of research myself at all. Then, this is where it gets really cool. This is all through ChatGPT. I asked Chat through another prompt. I said, based on the Pareto principle, what 80% of your business usually comes from one or two categories of customer, and 20% of your business is everything else. That's typically what the Pareto principle means. So I asked Chat if they could tell me, where is Chris's business primarily coming from percentage-wise? This is why I wanted Chris in the room. Is this how is this on accuracy?
No, that's
A little off.
But just because we don't put our focus on numbers and contractors, we're probably 75 to 80% utility.
Oh, okay, so if we took these two out of the equation and moved those up, it would be pretty much on point. That's pretty cool. So now, there's a lot of fancy CRMs. Why do I tell you this? There's a lot of fancy CRMs out there. I'm encouraging everybody to invest in a CRM, and I'll talk about some of those a little bit later. Because DOMO, these fancy reporting systems, they can tell you a lot. But very often, your own QuickBooks and accounting software can tell you even more about where your money is coming from. And as while you might be afraid to share some of those reports and those data with the interwebs, I'm here to tell you that you can actually put a profit and loss statement and upload it into a program like Chat and ask it to tell you the percentages of your business, and it will do it for you. And
How do you do that? How do you do that?
How do you do that? I can show you. We'll do some demos, I promise. I'll try to take some individual equations and show you how that works. But when you're in ChatGPT, there's an attach option. And you can attach any kind of a file. I can attach my book, and I can ask Chat to go through my book and pull quotes for me. It's very, very powerful tool. And
it's just the beginning.
it's just the beginning. Efficiency. If you have questions about your shop's efficiency, I know Jeffrey's a huge company, he has a lot of money to invest in a lot of programs. If you don't even know where to start in categorizing your efficiency, this is just one way to get even a baseline point of perspective and figuring out and saying like, oh, okay, well I really need to look at all of these parts and components, and I need to start doing some analysis and some work. This is just a very quick shortcut sheet on that. And here's my favorite part, because I've been in sales for a really, really long time. Angelina used to send me into foreign cities. I didn't know anybody, nobody. I didn't have ChatGPT, and I used to have to do all this research by hand, digging around on the internet, looking at Google Maps. And I'm telling you, like Google Maps was my best friend, because if I was going into a foreign territory and I had to go and talk to all these kitchen and bath and high-end designers and luxuries, I mean, I had to find these people. Now, we got all these tools that can help identify people within minutes. Now, real question here for you, Chris. Do any of these account names look real? A few of them. Not a lot? Okay. I would not know that by hand. But what I would do if I was Chris's shop is I would use my accounting stuff, my customer list, wherever I pull my customer list from, right? So if I have a website with an email list that I can export to Excel, if I have a QuickBooks that I can export my customer base and invoices into Excel, where I don't have to give actual like too much data, right? But just the names. And then I can ask a program like Chat to sort that out for me based on customer, program, type of business in which they do in category. Is this getting interesting or confusing? Interesting.
Well, it's interesting.
So why do we do that? Why do we prioritize accounts? And whether or not these are real or false, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because your client list are your client list. But if you only have 1 day a week to get out on the road and do sales, and you have 4 of those 1 day a weeks in a month, and that means that you have 48 of those 1 day a weeks a year, you want to prioritize where you're spending your time. Who are the accounts that you maybe need to coddle just a little bit? Who are the ones that you need to spend more time making sure you get by their offices and seeing? And then what can you do with that data? This is where I love, a little analytical brain of mine. I can plot that on a calendar. I can say, like, every Friday is my sales day, and I need to go and I need to see this 7 people this Friday. The following Friday, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get by and see these people. And I have a plan. And what does a plan mean for you guys? Like, where you don't have to think about it, you just do it. Because you have so many other things to think about all the time. If that part of your plan is already established, boy, that's a relief for me, because I get to get up on Friday morning on the day that the only day that I have to go out and network and do sales, and I've already got that written out somewhere, just like your job, your install plans, right? You all use calendars and boards to plot your weeks and your installs. The same thing goes for your sales strategies, and maximizing your time and efficiency can be better established if you know who your quality contacts are and you've kind of planned ahead for the month. It doesn't even take an hour to just sort of plan it out, make it happen, and then you don't have to think about it. You can just, it becomes routine, and it becomes second nature. Any questions there? This is DOMO. DOMO is a solution that pretty much, I know it works with some profits. I'm not as efficient on, give me something else.
Action flow.
Action flow, there's so many other,
Moreware.
Moreware, SlabView. Like, I'm not sure about its coordination. I know it works with some profits though. This is an add-on app that is available that can take, if you do have an existing CRM software, it's a plugin. And so it can pull all that data from your CRM and your accounting and actually pull it into these charts and spreadsheets to make it easier for you to read as an owner. And it's not terribly expensive. This is not a huge investment. But if you, whether or not you use like ChatGPT or you incorporate a system like DOMO so that you have a board, a dashboard, where when you come in, you want to do some analytics on where you are in the business and where you need to be, this type of product uses AI and pulls that data together for you.
How accurate do you think it is?
It's very accurate.
Because it's just based out of the data of your CRM.
Of your system, absolutely. And I've personally used this in Stone Profits. Very, very, very helpful.
I know high level is another system that does something similar, and it does integrate with action flow.
Yeah, and I want to talk about Monday.com. For anybody who's looking for a CRM, that's a very good one for our industry. I hear lots of good reports from my women's groups.
What is it?
Monday.com. And I'll show you some techniques with it. So before I move into using AI and creative, this what I've given you today about target marketing, finding your UVPs, prioritizations, brand strategies. This could be an entire week's conference, and I'm putting it together in 30 minutes. So I want you to like understand and know that I'm here for consult to talk about. My book is very, very helpful. My entire section 1 in Beyond Order Makers is dedicated to formulating a brand strategy for your company. And section 2 is the target marketing and the prioritization for your business. So if you need something more detailed, we can talk after the meeting. Y'all are very quiet.
It's all new.
Huh?
It's all new. A lot of us never seen this. It's like,
Really?
I didn't
Well, so I need to hear this. Tell me,
No,
tell
I
me
mean-
what your thoughts are before
Now
I
you
move
see
on.
why I wanted to, people just don't understand.
don't understand.
Chris really wanted me to do this for you guys, and I didn't want to do something that wouldn't be relevant.
I think one of the first things, like I'm new to this too, so I'm glad you said that too,
Yeah.
but I have no idea, does this start out at $200 a week?
Oh.
Does it start out at $5,000
Guess
a
what?
week? So
Like $20, I think.
ChatGPT regular, like if you just use
Oh,
a
it's
little
free?
bit, it's free.
Oh, okay.
It's free, but the upgraded version, and I pay the upgraded version because in my work, like I need, it's like a second employee. It's like having another hand.
Yeah.
It's $20 a month.
Yeah, I think too, like there's a lot of people I think here that is very good at the software and stuff, but it's still new, but there's a lot of the grant indicators, they're very old fashioned too. There's a lot of them, but it's hard to already get to digital in a shop, you know, to get all the new CNCs digital, and then you introduce something like that, it's like, wait a minute.
It's
It's
a
just a
little
new
wild and
thing.
crazy.
It's
Well, one thing I-
great, but it's new.
One thing I talk about a lot is like, what is your time worth? What is your time worth? How much time would you spend spinning your wheels trying to figure this out when I can tell you that there are freelancers available for hire on the internet who can help you with stuff like this for very minimal cost? And trying to take something like this on yourself isn't always the best solution. Some people are excited about it, they want to do it, they want to dig in, But formulating a brand strategy is really something that only has to be done about every 3 to 5 years. Once you've invested in maybe even help in someone identifying all of those parts and pieces for you, you can take that happy package of a brand strategy and you can hand it off to a freelance marketer and they'll know what to do for you. And a lot of times that's an investment that you want to decide to take with your company. And I'm not offering to do it for you either, but I'm just telling you that those people exist. You don't have to take this on yourself. You might have somebody in your office who's abreast to doing this type of work, and you're coming back and bringing them information and saying like, hey, can you come up with some basic brand strategies for our marketing? And I think you'd be impressed with what someone in their 20s can come up with very, very quickly and easily. And I'm 40, gonna be 44 this year. And so if I can do it, I feel like anybody in this room can do it, right? And I wasn't born in 2001. But that whole generation, they're gonna be living off of this. They're gonna be living off of this. Okay, moving on. So, AI for creative. What I wanted to show you today is like the tool that I use to even make this presentation, because like Gamma, for instance, if you do have to put a sales pitch together for a builder, let's say that you're trying to scale some of your business, you want to go after them. I mean, are you going to just have them as a guest at your shop and tell them how amazing you are? Or are you going to show them pictures of your work? Are you going to explain to them your efficiency, how many square foot you can do in a day? You know, what are you going to put into that type of a sales pitch and presentation? Well, how many of you have written a PowerPoint? How long does it take you? It takes a while. Yeah, so whenever I speak
I just wrote a complete business plan in 2 minutes.
with chat, yeah, it's amazing,
Complete
powerful.
stone fabrication business.
So this program that I'm on today, which is Gamma, writes my PowerPoints for me in 5 minutes. I have to refine them, I have to work on them, I have to change things, I have to add in some imagery. So in general, what used to take me to do an hour-long talk and get paid to do it at TICE or Coverings or KBiz, these people are paying me to come out and speak, would take me 2 to 3 days to put together a nice 40-page slide presentation with data. And now, I mean, I can get it done in under 5 hours. 5 hours, and that's pushing it. It might not even take that long, depending on what the content
What
is.
other kind of stuff does it do? Like, would it like design a brochure or literature for you?
Social media posts.
Okay.
So something else we use heavy, we use Countertop Marketing Company for all of our front-end CRM stuff. They work with a company called High Level as a white label. High Level has AI built in that actually carries on conversations from ads that I post on Facebook, and they automatically book appointments into my CRM. From that CRM automatically takes that customer's information. When I start a quote for that customer, it pulls all that information from there.
What's the name of this?
High Level is the name of the actual program.
High Level.
But if you found an ad or try to message my company right now, you are not talking with a live human being. And it is detailed. I mean, it is hugely detailed. We tested it for 3 months with other fabricators. Just play with it, talk to it, act like you're a customer talking to it. And we trained it, and it's phenomenal.
High level?
What CRM are you using?
High Level.
Oh, High Level is the CRM. Oh, I
High
thought
Level.
it's
So
private.
Monday has some similar attributes too.
It's a private label called Stone Engage through Steve Allen.
So everybody hear that? High Level as a CRM option, other than, like, I'm gonna show you the Monday here. There are lots of, it can be scary and it can be hard to sift through all of the options available. But I wanted to show you how AI puts together a PowerPoint for me. And so, actually, let me give you a preface. So, when I have to write a presentation, so let's say that you're going to said builder or whatever, and you've got to present some facts and some pictures and some portfolio, I'm going to go to ChatGPT and I'm going to say, hey Chat, help me write an outline for such and such builder. Here's their website. I need to incorporate these jobs out of my history, name them, possibly even attach something that you've done previously. And I'm going to ask it to write a little quick outline for me. Using that outline, I pop over to a program like Gamma, and this works the same way with social marketing campaigns. And in this instance, each line item is a slide. And I want to tell the program how I want the slides to look and feel using some of the information from an outline. It takes maybe 5-10 minutes to pop over an outline. And within seconds, it formulates, formats, and it's pretty incredible, right? And again, I'm feeding it information. However, laying out picture spaces, bullet points, arrows, timelines. I may or may not keep all of these images. I may sub it out with images that I have, live images that I have right in my share folder, accessible at all times. But you can actually program the system to use AI images, web images, like it'll actually just use stuff that it can find on Google. It will not create its own. You can ask DALL-E to create the images, or you can pull from your own spreadsheet. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
What does that do in terms of saving time? I mean, you could be up till 1 a.m. sometimes trying to fill out and write maybe a pitch to a builder or a potential customer or an architect. I'm not sure where all of you all in that business model, but having a nice formulated, professional looking presentation can help close more sales. Now, I did this before and I had to like get out. I don't remember. Just X out of it? No, that wasn't the right thing to do. This is not my computer starting yet. It goes right back into it pretty quickly. Okay. Machines like this can help do your content. So I wanted to tell you about doing blog content. Let me start with some social media. For instance, on my Rep Methods page, I really work on an aspirational and referral basis type of business model. So I modeled a lot of my social media content off of people who offer the similar services than me, businesses that I aspire to become. And many of those businesses have quotes as part of their weekly regime, something that's inspiring to keep their clients engaged. In a situation like quotes, I can use a system like Chat to pull 40 inspirational quotes geared towards sales, and it will pull that list for me in about a minute. I can then plug that into my Gamma generator, and it will spit out individual cards that all I have to do is export, and I have 40 social media content items in about 5 minutes. And that's all through just using AI and learning the tricks of how do I make my life a little bit easier. I use a social media programmer called Later. It's a software called Later. There's lots of social media softwares out there. I only have about 3 hours a month, maybe maximum 1 day, that I can spend on uploading content for social media. So I need to spend an entire day that thereabouts in creative, and then I want to be able to upload that information so that it populates through social media channels on a frequency, right? So I program my social media for 2 months out. I can do all of that work in 1 day, like 1 day dedicated to creative based on my brand strategy. I can use a program like Later to populate and plug it into the calendar. I want this on this day, this on this day. That's what marketing people do. It's plug and play. And I can program exactly what's gonna spit out on all my channels 2 months ahead. And they even do your stories now, too. So that helps somebody like me who's constantly on the road. I don't have time to spend, I just have to plan ahead on the content that I'm gonna create and use the tools that are out there to help me make that content quickly. So blogs. All right. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. This is the 50 quotes. So watch this. Help me write a prompt for Gamma. I told Chat, help me write a prompt for Gamma so that I can get 50 quotes and have them spit out into a file that just automatically is there, and then it's all drag and drop into this folder and into this social media uploader. It's incredible. ChatGPT helps me create the prompt for the AI software. It helps me tell the generator exactly what I need it to know. How cool is that?
Is Gamma software that you pay for, or is that
Yes, it is, but it is not bad. I think it breaks down to, it's like $140 a year, so what is that, $11 a month? Now you can kill yourself paying for softwares, I know, I mean, I get it. But these are the ones that really, really matter to me, and I use them a lot on a regular basis. So did everybody see how quickly it spit out those cards? And within spitting this out, it has images that I can change and translate. That is exportable into a compressed file that goes right, drag and drop into my cloud folder. And then with my later software, I just drag the whole extracted file right into my uploader, and all I have to do is drag and drop. Isn't that a miracle? You can take it one step further. After you've created all of that content, you can have ChatGPT write all the post copy. Write for me exactly what I should paste into Facebook or Instagram as the copy, and it will spit that out into a matching spreadsheet that goes with your information. Makes everybody's life speed up quickly. Now I know this is not your all's day-to-day, and I was afraid with Chris that this was going to get a little boring or non-relative. I hope we're not there yet. Being able to create custom imagery was a big deal for me using my book. So again, as I said before, these systems will search the internet for real-life images that are already in existence. And I've done presentations on fluting and textures in stone and design trends, and had it actually pull all of that imagery directly from what's available on the web, because we're not AI generated images. So it's very empowering. Okay, this is another one that I thought you all would really love. It was Kitchen GPT. Anybody seen this yet? This is so cool. And I think the best part was it was $10 a month. Kitchen GPT. Let's say that you're new and you're young and you haven't done any big fancy jobs, and you need some imagery to be able to put on your website for clients to select from styles of cabinetry or kitchen countertops, and you want to be able to showcase nice quality kitchens and what the style might look like. Kitchen GPT, this is where, like, when you're on Instagram and you see those multi-million-dollar mansions that don't half look real, or like you see this amazing kitchen that looks like it cost $1 million, 9 times out of 10 that was AI that generated that image. They're not a lot of that stuff is real anymore. So in this, I wanted to show you the price. It was $19 a month. And I do think that this could be very valuable for certain aspects of your business. Let me slow this down. Works just like ChatGPT in a lot of ways. So your client comes in and they pull some stuff on Pinterest, but you need to show them what it would look like even in their own house. It has the ability where you can upload an image of their kitchen, and it will help translate this new style of cabinetry, the new countertop in their room, like a visualizer. So in this case I chose farmhouse style kitchen with soapstone countertops. Cabinets need to be a shaker style with soft green finish. The fixtures, I think, matte black, and it should have a modern flair. I used an image from Grasso Pietri as my inspiration for the kitchen to give it somewhere to go. And it took that exact same layout. Oh, wait. I need to pause it there at the end so y'all can see the final choice. It actually gives you 3 or 4 images to choose from. Back up. Here we go.
You can like reprompt after, like change the island.
Absolutely. So it took my inspiration image. This is a real project. But I said I wanted, what did I say?
Farm shaker.
Farmhouse shaker, green, soapstone countertops. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And this costs $19 a month. And how many of you don't have expensive CAD software that can lifestyle generate?
Even like, so I've used like 2020 design.
You use 2010?
Yeah, and I mean, the renderings just aren't that great. So could you take a rendering and pull it in there and you can make it look just way better?
There's actually an AI program.
Oh, is it for 2020?
Amazing.
Okay, that sounds good.
So pretty neat. And then what if you're just trying to build out a portfolio? Or what if you're trying to build those aspirational images for your social media? What if you want to show the potential of stone that you already have in your backyard, and you want to incorporate a way that would sell that stone? So if you already own some inventory and you need to find a way to make that look good in a kitchen, this would be a great way to upload a picture of that slab and get it incorporated somehow in the flooring or in the walls, right? So it's just, these are just different techniques. I hope this is useful. I love it. I think this is next gen for me. And it gave me options. The best part of that was that I had options to choose from. Man, this thing's about to make me mad. Oh, it keeps switching. That's why. It gave me options. Now, supercharging your efficiency. So I would say that right now, a lot of you are thinking, I don't have time for this shit. Right? I don't have time for this. This is, I'm reading his mind. Reading his mind. And I get it. What's your time worth? If you're going to be hiring, probably an outside salesperson would be my first investment because that's going to make money for the company. But after I've got a really good boots on the ground salesperson who's out in the field generating revenue for the business, my next investment is going to be in a part-time marketing person. And hear me when I say part-time, because it doesn't have to be a full-time job, not with the technology that's out there. And anybody who's half-assed, really better than average, they're not going to need this as a full-time job. Most marketers that are doing this as a consulting position, they have 10, 15 clients. They're not doing it for just one company. So I think the days of having a full-time marketing person, unless you're Jeffrey Grand, it's not necessarily necessary, right? So, scheduling optimization. How about if you just don't know? You don't know how to make your day-to-day more efficient. Tools like the AI can actually help give you those answers. And what I do with some of my coaching clients is I actually have them take a few old-fashioned minutes and write down what I do on a day-to-day basis. What do I do? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. How long does it take me? Now this process might take you, a little bit of time to get down on paper or, put it into Excel. But once you've actually put that into perspective on how much time you're spending with each customer, how much time are you spending going to distributors, how much time are you spending out in the back of the shop, how much time are you spending organizing the sample room, how much time are you spending cleaning toilets, how much time are you spending going to the post office. All these little things, they do add up. And once you've actually put that down on paper, this is a very EOS way of thinking, a very lean perspective way of thinking. You can actually upload it and ask Chat to analyze where you're losing time, and it will actually give you some ideas on how to make your life a little bit more efficient. Where are those priorities happening in sales? Just like Chris said, the program he has, he uses AI in his marketing today to help stop lead loss. He's capturing any leads using the chat bots and the ability through the marketing on the back end of the website. And at the end of the day, like Jeffrey pointed out, he has a program so that his salesperson gets that lead and they want to call them back the very next day, and there's no loss in lead turnover. And that's all based on technology and being able to lean down our efficiency. Process automation. You just would be so surprised at the things that you can ask your AI program from data entry to pull from the web. I'm on the hunt on a regular basis. There's an amazing program that I use called Zoom Info. So let's say that I'm target marketing architecture firms in a foreign city, and I need a contact. Because I can send a bullshit email to the one that's on the website that's usually, info@charlesarchitect.com. 99% of the time, those are dead email inboxes. They go in something that they only check once a month. I have to pick up the phone, I have to have a real email, I have to have the right contact name, and I use an AI program to help me figure out who that is within all of those organizations. If that's something that you're needing in your business on a seeking basis, on trying to find new customers, I would consider improving that efficiency for yourself. As I mentioned before, take a moment when you guys get home, and trust me, this pays off. It pays off for every single client that I work with, to just map and track your time. See what you're doing on a week-to-week basis, which adds up to a month-to-month. And I promise that you can find some holes and some efficiency, and maybe put some tasks. We just want to move them, right? We have to learn how to say no to doing certain things during the day, and we have to put that thing in a better position, right? Because I don't have time. Actually, time is money. So sometimes we don't have time. That we need to be spending our time on better, more sales-generating things. So I try to teach people how to track that time, analyze the patterns, optimize workflow, and increase your return on investment. And the funny thing is that, you know, I called chat my friend Jose. I mean, I feel like ChatGPT is just, Jose's out here helping me in left field because I'm a small business too. I'm only one person. And it's amazing how these tools have made me so fast and efficient. One of my favorite tools that I try to teach is calendar blocking. How many of you use calendar blocking? I see one. What? Okay, cool. Cool. This will change your life. This will change, right? Okay, tell me your experience. No, I didn't want to hear from me anymore. Tell me.
I did it on a personal level because I was getting consumed by business. So I actually blocked time for me, self-improvement, for my family, for basically all areas of my life. And then work has that time and that's it. That basically pushed me to empower people to do and delegate more.
Delegate more.
Yep.
Assign tasks. That's why I asked for the first manual part of it is to write down all the things that you do. And then when you start time blocking, for me it changed my life too. Because like I said, I can really only afford to spend one day a month doing creative for stuff like social media. I need my time to be in more appropriate ways. I can only deal with my coaching clients on Mondays and Fridays. So I have that particular time blocked out and I use software to help me book within those windows so that it helps make my job and my life more efficient. So this is a Reclaim.ai. This is a time management app. They have great videos online. And I was gonna say, guys, when you guys are, if you're investigating any type of software, go to YouTube, pull up that company's channel and watch the videos and decide if it's the right tool for you. And you'll know probably within 1 to 2 videos if it is or if it isn't. But they have, the education on what these softwares can do is already out there. It's in existence. And so figuring out, like this system was really cool. And I did some research, you know, based on programs that would work with the software that you already have in business. So Reclaim.ai actually helps integrate through Google Calendar and helps to better optimize your time and prioritize for you. If you feel like you can't do it manually, there are programs that can do that for you. This is an example of efficiency and priority to sales. This is a chart that, again, I use ChatGPT to do it with Affordable Quality and Granite and Marble, but if it was my own business or one of my own clients, I actually have them rank their tasks A, B, C, or D, good old-fashioned method. And A, the most important tasks are the ones that are building revenue for my company. The B tasks are tasks that are important, they're relevant, but they're just not quite as important as the ones that are driving revenue for my company. And I rank in just these, 4 categories of information so that I can think about, maybe marketing and social media isn't even that important for my business. Should I actually be spending time putting all this crap on TikTok? Or should I be going and talking to businesses within my community that are actually going to bring me sales? Most of the time, I think a lot of small businesses can spend too much time focusing on marketing through social media, and they forget about the old-fashioned methods of, some people said they didn't like radio ads. I love radio ads, but it depends on who your target market is. Some people like home shows. If that's the category of client that you're wanting to network with, maybe you should get involved in some more regional presentation where you can be forward-facing in front of that direct consumer. So what actually are the efficiencies within your business model? This is my favorite calendar app. How many of you are using a scheduler for client appointments, template appointments? I see 1 hand, 2 hands, 3 hands, kind of, sort of. Google? Yeah, Google's cool, but Calendly changed my life. I have 2 accounts. I have one for Pietri and I have one for Rep Methods. I use the scheduling tools because I can program specific calendar invites to specific functions. So whether it's a coaching client meeting, a coffee date, maybe it's one of my volunteer mentorship calls. Grazie Pietri, I'll program a whole week worth of appointments and send that out to a group of my customers and say, hey guys, pick your time within a city. Now, does everybody use it? No, but I can also program for them. So if I get them on the phone, and then I can pull up my Calendly, and I can say, well, I've still got, you know, Tuesday and Wednesday are relatively open, and I can actually click it and book it for them. And then what it does for me, sends text message reminders of the appointment. It sends automated emails reminding the customer of our time slot. I can actually attach a catalog on the back end of the appointment scheduler so that once the client has booked the consultation, they actually get my selling materials directly into their email inbox, which allows, like, part of the process, right? The preview process is already completed before we've even had the appointment. Whatever I want them to see before the appointment, I can make sure that that's attached. Then it's all through this program, and that costs me about $10 a month. Worth its weight in gold for me. For me.
We're up to about $3,000 a month in software.
For what?
Software for you.
Is that what it's added up to? I think it's only about 40. 40 bucks, and I don't need the kitchen GPT tool, which was 19, and that's a little steep in my world. But yeah, I mean, for me and my business, honestly, I run all of my computer expenses through one of my business credit cards because I wanted to be able to track how much I was spending in all these different programs. And I'll tell you guys that for me, I'm at about $200 a month in tools, computer program tools. That's not that bad. Does that seem a little high?
It's totally worth it if you are using it and you have the way to,
Yeah.
you see the use of it every single one.
The use of every single, you have to weight it, is what you're saying. You have to weight its value to you. I think $230 a month is worth, that's definitely worth my time. That's what I charge an hour. I wish. I did want to tell you guys about Monday.com. Now, according to my women's group, Stone Cold Bitches, I know, it's a great name. I didn't come up with it. I thought she was gonna be here, 'cause she's in Wilmington. Amanda Celeste Bell. Anybody know Amanda Bell?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Amanda will tell you, like, I think this is the software that they have integrated into their showrooms. And Monday.com has added on a ton of AI attributes. So I think this would be an alternative to the one that Chris suggested. If you don't have a CRM software, Monday is going to be a CRM software and more for your business. So it's going to give you a lot of these tools if you don't have one already.
How much is that one?
I don't know.
She doesn't want to scare you.
No, I don't, but the CRMs are a different breed, like, you know, and everybody has a different need. Like, I am very comfortable in Stone Profits. I can tell you how to run reports, DOMO, you know, inventory management, the purposes behind Stone Profits. It has a CRM attribute, but that is a more distributor-friendly software. So I'm just not as comfortable talking about on the fabricator side. I've seen a lot of people use the action flow. And I think the guy who was supposed to be here, Justin Shaw, has one as well that he is working on.
I'm pretty sure he uses the one that Chris mentioned.
Okay. This is a video about Monday though. And again, you can go YouTube, subscribe to some of these software companies and go to their YouTube channel. Not only do you have videos that are provided by the software company, but you typically are going to have a lot of these tech guys breaking down some of the tools and resource instructional videos. It's very, very helpful.
Allison, we have to break for lunch.
Oh, okay. I'm pretty much done. I think I have 3 more here. This is a cool one. Let me show you this. If you need takeoff assistance. So Tobal AI, this is where you can actually upload architectural plans into the software, and it will do your takeoffs for you.
Shut up. Good? That's
I'm not fucking lying. There's also there are
Say that again? It does takeoffs based on prints?
this is construction management software, and there are more of these coming. I attended a conference in LA last summer, and there's another one. I'll have to remember the name. I actually wrote about it in my book. It's coming. More of this is coming.
Is it, what's other websites for takeoffs, Struck.com, I think.
The moral of the story, before I let you guys go to lunch, is like my big do's and don'ts. Let AI do a lot of the brainstorming for you. I am